industria farmacéutica es responsable de eliminar un gran porcentaje de la población mundial en favor de la élite global.
AIDS, the most devastating biological catastrophe the world has ever known. This disease will kill more people this year than all other viral diseases combined. According to Dr. Robert Strecker, AIDS is a man-made, genetically engineered virus that was either accidentally or deliberately introduced into the world's population.
El virus causante del síndrome de inmunodeficiencia adquirida, Sida, fue creado artificialmente en un laboratorio por científicos al servicio de las instituciones dogmáticas de la élite inhumana.
AIDS is not a homosexual disease. AIDS is not a venereal disease. AIDS did not originate from the green monkey. AIDS is not prevented by the use of condoms, and AIDS is not likely to ever be cured by a vaccine. I realize what you've just heard contradicts most of what you've been told about AIDS. In this program, Dr. Robert Strecker will present documented evidence that refutes the official stand taken by so-called AIDS experts, members of the research community, and the government. And now, let's find out the truth about AIDS.
En el video
The Strecker Memorandum,
el doctor muestra evidencia de cómo fue la creación del virus artificial del SIDA.
Are questioning the validity of the popular view about AIDS, which has failed to scientifically explain the disease. So I've decided it's time that someone tells you the truth about AIDS. So in this program, I will show you how the AIDS virus was actually predicted, requested, produced, deployed, and now threatens the very existence of mankind because it works. To understand why I believe that the AIDS virus came out of a laboratory rather than out of the jungles of Africa, you have to understand several important concepts which I will address in the next few minutes.
If only a small portion of what you've been saying is true, that we as Americans have been, frankly, led down the primrose path by those in power who have been giving us information regarding the AIDS epidemic. The epidemic itself was started in the 70s in Africa and coincided almost directly with a smallpox vaccination program that's sponsored by the World Health Organization. All these things are astounding. Why in the world would our government, the World Health Organization, the National Institute of Health, lead us down this garden path? What's behind all of this?
I think the simple answer to that is, of course, first off, if you knew that you'd constructed the virus or had somehow been responsible for its construction or spread, would you tell anybody?
Este es uno de sus numerosos métodos que han usado para extinguir tu especie del planeta, tus propios gobernantes.
The pharmaceutical industry is arguably the most profitable industry on our planet, with its profits being triple that of all of the Fortune 500 companies. Rising profits result in rising stock prices. The only way this industry can sustain this profitable momentum is by continuing to introduce new patented drugs. And since the pharmaceutical industry relies on the FDA as its gatekeeper to introduce these new drugs, it's in their best interest to ensure the FDA remains as compliant as possible. And since the FDA is also an office of the United States government, it's in the government's best interest to preserve one of its most powerful industries.
2 years ago, I found out that our prescription drugs are the third leading cause of death after heart disease and cancer. The other half die because of errors. And it's often the doctors that make the errors because any drug may come with 20, 30, or 40 warnings, contraindications, precautions, and so on. No doctor in the world knows about all this.
Si en los años 70 la industria farmacéutica creaba medicamentos para combatir las enfermedades, en los últimos años la situación se ha invertido. La industria crea enfermedades para luego vender medicamentos. Algunos especialistas tratan de desmontar las estrategias de esta industria que consideran salvaje y de la que son cómplices médicos y autoridades de la salud. Enfermedades en venta. Así es como califican y denuncian el abuso de una industria farmacéutica cuyo objetivo es transformarnos en enfermos, es decir, en consumidores de medicamentos. El fundador de los laboratorios Servier, fabricante desde hace más de 30 años del fármaco para personas diabéticas, fue acusado de la muerte de 1.300 personas debido a sus efectos secundarios.
The other thing I found out 2 years ago was that much of what the drug industry does fulfills the criteria for organized crime in US law. And they behave in many ways like the mafia does. They corrupt everyone they can corrupt. They have bought every type of person, even including ministers of health in some countries. I hope to convince patients not to take so many drugs because so many die from the drugs they take. Drugs are the third major killer after heart disease and cancer. So what we need in the coming years is to take far fewer drugs than what we do currently.
Big Pharma
sabe que los opioides son adictivos.
Narcotráfico. Con este negocio oscuro se asocia a países de América Latina como Colombia o México. Pero lo más curioso en esta situación es que detrás de este comercio ilícito se esconde otra realidad. Según un reciente artículo publicado por el periódico británico The Guardian, los más beneficiados por la producción de los estupefacientes en Colombia resultan ser los bancos de Estados Unidos y Europa, algo que según los expertos no le permite a las naciones latinoamericanas realizar una lucha efectiva contra este flagelo. Los mecanismos de lavado de dinero realizado por Estados Unidos ya fueron revelados en numerosas ocasiones. Uno de los ejemplos más vivos fue cuando hace unos años sacaron a la luz el blanqueo de miles de millones de dólares por parte del banco norteamericano Wachovia realizado a través del narcotráfico mexicano. Pero finalmente todo el castigo para el banco fue una multa que según el periódico The Observer no llegó ni siquiera al 2% de los más de 12.000 millones de dólares que obtuvo en beneficios. Seguir a los grandes bancos, según señalan algunos expertos, sería casi como un suicidio. Y estas entidades implicadas serían las más beneficiadas al quedarse con la mayoría del dinero que este oscuro negocio mueve.
A través de la prohibición obtienen altos beneficios económicos.
We who accept herb, herb is important, but herb is more important to the people who don't accept it yet because that is the reality. I mean, it's not selling selling is something that you crave, but you check it in your sense and say, herb is a plant. I mean, herbs are good for everything. Why these people who want to do so much good, why them say you must not use the herb? You see? And we check that and we can't find, we just see them just say, no, you mustn't use it because it make you rebel. Against what? Against men who won't crave because them crave for the things like say, well then, them have some material things and them want to captivate your mind and tell you, say, well, you have to work and put you on pension and him keep it all. So herb make you look for yourself and instead of you want to work for the man, you want to be one of the man too. And herb is a thing that give you a little time for yourself so you can live if you use it. Herb is more a consciousness.
The best drugs in the pharma world are the ones that people have to continue taking forever and ever and ever and ever. That's what the big money is. Keep them alive for a couple of years at least on all the drugs. That's the incentive for making money. Think it through a little bit. It's sad, but it's reality. If you found the cure for cancer, boom, now what? Now you're not doing nothing. And you're out of business too.
Las curas de cáncer naturales existen, pero Big Pharma las suprime por los billones que la enfermedad le representa al año.
Pero, a pesar que la cura del cáncer existe desde hace mucho tiempo, no se ha dado a conocer por la sencilla razón que llena los bolsillos de las industrias farmacéuticas.
It was obvious to me that Dr. Brzezinski had made the most important discovery in cancer treatment ever. It's what we have been looking for.
So that's the type of tumor for which there's no curative treatment, no chemotherapy which is approved, and numerous clinical trials were performed but failed in the past. So we selected this type of tumor because we would like to prove the point beyond any doubt that this type of cancer can be cured by the use of antineoplastons. And we already have proof that it can be cured. So the good news is that the cancer...
Because it's not popular to tell the truth in healthcare. You will get a lot of enemies, because a lot of people make money on false premises, doctors and industry alike. And our drug regulators and our politicians, they are on board on this wagon. So very few people are independent of money in healthcare. And when my book about organized crime came out, they just lied about it, as they always do, that my examples were old, they went back 90 years and so on. But, you know, where I demonstrate that what the 10 biggest companies do is organized crime, these examples, they were from within the last 10 to 15 years. That's not old examples. And the crimes have increased because when crime pays, you will have more crime. That's how capitalism works.
Este es uno de sus numerosos métodos que han usado para extinguir tu especie del planeta.
La industria de los transgénicos o los organismos genéticamente modificados y el agronegocio en general viene haciendo promesas desde hace por lo menos 20 años sobre que los transgénicos serán más nutritivos, que aumentarán las cosechas, que reducirán el uso de químicos, y esto no ha sucedido.
Do not believe that glyphosate in Argentina is causing increases in cancer. You can drink a whole quart of it and it won't hurt you.
You want to drink some? We have some here.
I'd be happy to, actually, but not really, but
not really?
I know it wouldn't hurt me.
If you say so, I have some glyphosate.
No, I'm not stupid.
Tell the truth.
It's not dangerous to humans. No, it's not.
So you're ready to drink one glass of glyphosate?
No, I'm not an idiot.
De incertidumbre, Bayer y Monsanto respiran tranquilos. El pasado agosto, la Unión Europea decidió investigar la fusión entre ambos gigantes para formar la mayor empresa mundial de pesticidas y semillas. Una fusión de más de 60.000 millones de dólares.
Bloomberg siembra cierta alarma diciendo que esta extraña pareja intenta gobernar al mundo. Y echamos un vistazo ahora a un Twitter que ha citado cientos de medios. El activista Adrian Bebb, que dice que este es un matrimonio formado en el mismísimo infierno. Se trata de crear un monopolio, así, puro y duro, tener el control a un lado y a otro del Atlántico. Los campesinos van a tener que depender de este monopolio sí o sí. Se terminó eso de la agricultura sostenible, sustentable, que tanto se dice.
La luz que tienes dentro nace de un anillo de la antigüedad. Para encontrar el anillo, encontrarás primero tu origen.